This is Verizon. Here are your price targets for Wednesday. We ended the day at $42.23, up a whopping 6.7%. Congratulations if you've made some money off of this stock. The reason I'm also talking about it is because I took a trade on this, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But first, we ended the day again at $42.23. Now, to the north side from where we are takes us to resistance and a potential take profit area at 42.84. Above that, 43.42 and $44. But if we get into this region up here, I will anticipate a sell-off as people take their profits and they go. They lock it in and they leave. Expect that to happen. And then if that does, this will be the next area of support that I will be watching. And that is the middle of the trend at 41.70. Below that is -2 standard deviations at 40.52. $40, let's just say roughly, and at -4 standard deviations, $39.41. If we get to this line, and this line, I will anticipate a buy-in as people think the stock is cheaper and they get in. They're buying the dip. The RSI turning up on the 5-minute time frame. And we're about to hit oversold. So once we do, then I'm going to anticipate a pullback just like over here. You cannot expect this to stay up without falling down, to go down for another possible leg up down the road. But the 52-week low is $30.14. The 52-week high right now, $42.25, which we hit today. Now, the price target has changed many times with this stock, and we've already met it. And the next target will be $49. So a nice swing trade or even a long-term position, because it will take a while to get there. Now, looking left, we have a gap right here that I will be anticipating. We gapped up here, so I will anticipate a gap down. So if this stock has run up too much for you, wait for it to pull back. Be patient because it will pull back. All stocks and ETFs do, for another possible leg up later. But let me mark this out. And ignore the horizontal line here, 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 and here. Those are old price targets that we have already met. And this just happens to be a gap within these two price targets. So when, and I'll just say if we go to the downside, which I know we will eventually, that will take us down to $39.23. So note right here, we're at resistance, and then the sell-off, trying to bounce back up, going sideways, and then just slowly creeping up with this line here. And I think we should be able to hit this and then go down a little bit. But this was a gap that I was tracking to the north side, and it touched right there. So that gap is no longer in play, but that was support down there. And I'm also tracking a few smaller gaps, as you can see down here, down here. So many opportunities to go to the south side eventually, but right now we are in an upward channel. And then all these gaps here, that one touched, this one touched. I will now flip this over to the 1 hour so we can see this a little bit better. Ignore these horizontal lines. Those lines are previous buy-in spots and support and resistance that I mark out. Apparently I bought some at 37.15. Old price target here of 39. We have another one here at 40, 56, 51, 58. I like to mark it out so that way I know there's a goal in mind and I can visualize where I'm heading. And then they also adjust the price targets, so that way you know if there's going to be a pullback. And then I've looked at it so many times here, so I'll have to extend these lines and then clean them up too, since I have not had a chance to do that. But as you can see, there's this gap that touched right here to the upside. So I knew eventually price went down here, that it will finally go back up this way. And then we've got, so you can see how I like to mark out my charts. It does look like a hot mess sometimes, but I kinda understand what I've done, even though it looks so messy. And sometimes I confuse myself, but that's okay. I'm gonna remove that. Those are all targets that have hit. This one already hit. This one already hit. Oh, that was the bottom that I just had moved it in a previous video. And we've got a gap here that looks like this gap already hit. See how I've tracked this so many times? I think that already hit to the downside. So these landmines that I have tracked are no longer a threat to our account. So that one was very close. Let me just delete that and extend the line. That one closed. This is how you can become an expert at charting here. You do this long enough, you could do it pretty quickly. All right, so what happened is I bought, oh no, the pink lines down here is just support and resistance. I no longer use the pink because that's my buy-in usually. Now, whoops, I color code everything and I try to keep it the same so that way at a quick glance I know exactly what I've done. Whoops, Control Z to redo that. Eventually I will remove all these lines, but I like to kind of see it so that I can see how long I've been tracking the stock. But all right, I bought in at $37.15 for my mom. I remember doing this when I was visiting, and I had a little bit of her money left to invest for her, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to roll the dice and put it into Verizon. Of course, it did go down even more after I buy it. It always happens to me. But so long as overall I make money, I'm happy that I make money for her. All right. Originally, I had a sell order at $42. I had changed it to $41 thinking there is no way, it's just taking so long for this stock to climb. And so I put it in at 42 and then it just never hit. I was just reaching for the moon. And so I set it at 41 and I forgot about it because I forgot to check it. Usually at night, like tonight, I will go through and see what I have done for my sell orders, my sell limits. So I had it on 41 and, I had it at $40.05 and it sold out at 41 for me. So I was happy at that. I eked out 95 more cents. But had I micromanaged more this ticker, micromanaged it, I would have seen that, we were going up here and then check the MACD RSI for an exit point. And I didn't do that. It just hit and it ran without me. So I basically sold out right here when we touched 40. Well, it touched 41. So right here to 41, I am up 10.4%. I like to make roughly 10% on each transaction for her. That way I play it a little longer. And if I don't get there, then I can sell out. But my goal is always 10% at least for her. And then get out. I mean, I do have a lot of things I'm holding for her long term. But this one was just, I knew I didn't want to keep it that long. But had I played it and micromanaged it, 37.15, I'm going to be precise here. And $41 is where I got stopped out. So that's a return of 10.36%. But had I paid attention and moved my sell limits, today we hit 42. It's just easier because my chart is a mess. So 42.23, and that's 15. All right, so that was a 13% return on the day. So again, congratulations if you made some money off of this stock. I am no longer in this trade, and there's a lot of upside potential to $49 as you saw. Right now we are overextended. I will expect a pullback. Let me just remove that. So we are up here. So I will expect maybe just to go a little higher, go sideways, and then kerplunk. I will not expect price to stay up here. It will readjust and people will short it. And there are plenty of opportunities to go short, as I mentioned as well. Now, very quickly, let's take a look at RTX Corporation. Apparently, I talked about this one in the past. Many gaps to the downside that we have not filled. Just a quick look at this. I don't know if there are, yep, there's another one too, but we're not even close, not in that channel. But we are in an upward trend right now. Let me turn on my magnet. Okay, we gapped up. Eventually, I will anticipate price to come down to roughly about there. Here are your targets. I don't know what happened. See, I moved so fast. I lost one of my indicators because trading view here lost it. This is what gets me so frustrated about them. All right, let's do this. We ended right here, 85.55. So here are your price targets. Keeping in mind the RSI is turning down. Oops. So to the north side, at another level of resistance and potential take profit area, $90.39 and $91.50. And today's high is 92.38, right there. Probably could hit it and then fall right back down. To the south side, your targets are 87.10, this gap to the south side at 85.53, 84.85, 83.75, 82.62. And the last time I talked about this stock, price was at, oh, here. Oh, no, that's a gap fill. So the potential will take us to 96.45 and then to the downside here. But again, we're not even close. This one is Procter & Gamble. We ended the day at 153.98. Watch out for this gap. We gapped up, so I will anticipate price to come down. And somewhere around the 148.19 range. So to the north side, 155.62, 158.16, 142.38, 139.78, and 137.14. This is 153.98. Change that over. All right, that does it for me. That's a look at Verizon, RTX, and PG. Thank you so much for watching.